Welcome to This Explainer, where we're uncovering the dark, thrilling world of the biological pirates of the plant kingdom. When we look at a lush green forest or a thriving garden, we usually imagine this peaceful, cooperative natural world, right? But beneath all those green leaves lies a completely cutthroat reality. Today, we're exposing a hidden side of nature, one that operates totally outside the normal rules of survival.
Think about it this way. Every single society has an economy. And the botanical world is honestly no different. It's got this vast underground economy where nutrients, water, and energy are the ultimate currency. And, well, wherever there is a massive accumulation of wealth, you're going to find thieves. So today we're looking at organisms that literally just watch the incredibly hard work of others, all that deep root building, the sun catching, and they choose to simply steal rather than trade.
Which brings us to Part 1, the Botanical Outlaws.
Just look at the stark contrast here. On one side, you have a normal, self-sufficient plant. It uses photosynthesis, it grows deep roots, it sprouts green leaves to feed itself, the whole shebang. But on the other side, we've got a botanical outlaw that has entirely deleted its own machinery for survival. I mean, it's abandoned photosynthesis, it's discarded its roots, it doesn't even bother growing green leaves. Instead, these kind of high-tech natural hackers have evolved specifically to hijack the internal pipelines of their neighbors. They just drain their life force to build their own dark empires.
Let's dive into Part 2, the Dodder's Drill. To really grasp how ruthless this gets, we have to look at our first case study. It's this terrifying aerial attacker known scientifically as Cuscuta, or as it's more commonly called, the Dodder. Now, the Dodder begins its life in a way that feels almost alien. It doesn't sprout leaves to catch the sun. No, it emerges from the dirt as this blind, rotating leafless wire. It sways in the air, acting almost like a snake. And what's it doing? It's hunting. The Dodder literally sniffs out the chemical breath of neighboring host plants, tracking down its prey entirely by smell.
So once the Dodder finally makes physical contact with its victim, it deploys a brutal evolutionary weapon, the Haustorium. Picture the Haustorium as a specialized biological drill bit, or kind of like a vascular straw. These microscopic, fang-like structures push inward, literally punching directly through the host plant's outer cellular armor. It doesn't just sit on the surface, it aggressively forces its way deep inside the host.
And what exactly is it drilling for? Well, it's plunging straight into the plant's most vital internal veins. By plugging into the xylem, the Dodder steals the host's water, and by tapping into the phloem, it siphons off all those rich liquid sugars. The Dodder effectively locks its own vascular system straight into the host plant's system. And once it's connected, it becomes a permanent, unremovable parasite that just sits there, drinking its neighbor's hard-earned wealth in real time.
That leads us to Part 3, the data thieves. But this biological heist, it escalates from simple, brute force robbery to high-level corporate espionage. Because the theft of water and sugar, that's really just the beginning of the nightmare for the host plant. Imagine the terrifying prospect of these parasites acting not just as physical leeches, but as high-level data hackers. What if they're actually intercepting internal, highly sensitive communications from the very plants they're draining? Well, scientists have recently discovered exactly how far this piracy goes. When a normal plant is attacked by, say, an insect, it sends chemical warning signals throughout its body to arm its defenses. But when the Dodder parasite bridges two or more different host plants together, it actively intercepts those signals. It actually steals functional messenger RNA, or mRNA, and crucial defense data from one host plant and passes it right along its own stem to the next. The parasite is essentially acting as an unauthorized black market internet cable. It is literally rewiring the internal communication networks of entire plant communities, all for its own survival. It's an information thief sitting right smack in the middle of a hijacked network, controlling the flow of data for its own dark empire.
Now for Part 4, the underground assassins.
While the Dodder attacks aggressively from the air, choking out its host in this tangled web, let's explore an even more terrifying pirate. One that operates entirely out of sight, completely in the dark. Meet Striga, commonly and, let's be honest, very appropriately known as Witchweed. This is a subterranean assassin. Witchweed doesn't just target wild plants, it aggressively attacks major food crops, like corn and sorghum. It destroys entire agricultural ecosystems from beneath the surface, way before farmers even realize there's a pirate in their fields.
The sheer scale and patience of this threat is just staggering. Witchweed seeds don't just sprout immediately. No, they can sleep in the soil for up to 20 years. Think about that. 2 decades of sitting entirely dormant in the dirt, just waiting for the absolute perfect victim to grow nearby.
And this immense patience builds into a highly calculated, premeditated attack. See, the witchweed seed is specifically waiting for the exact chemical signature of a host root. It's triggered by Striga lectones, which are these hormones naturally leaked by the roots of the host plant. The moment the witchweed senses this chemical leak, it wakes up, violently germinates, and clamps its fangs directly onto the underground pipelines of the crop. And then, it just begins aggressively draining nutrients in the dark.
The devastation is absolute. Before the witchweed even breaks through the surface of the soil to reveal its small, seemingly harmless, bright purple flowers, it's already done its worst. It can drain up to 90% of the host plant's nutrients underground. It literally starves the host to death from the roots up, leaving nothing but a withering, yellowing crop on the surface.
Which brings us to Part 5, the chemical arms race. As we've clearly seen from both the Dodder and the witchweed, the natural world is definitely not a peaceful utopia of total cooperation. It is a high-stakes, unyielding arena where every single drop of energy is fought for, aggressively defended, and sometimes brutally stolen by highly evolved hackers. But nature is all about adaptation. To survive an environment filled with these underground market crashes and relentless biological pirates, normal plants couldn't just rely on physical armor or thicker cell walls. They had to fight back. They had to evolve into sophisticated chemical laboratories. To defend their wealth, plants actually became factories capable of brewing deadly neurotoxins, mind-altering drugs, and even liquid acid to paralyze their enemies and protect their pipelines. So will simple physical armor ever be enough to protect against the ultimate biological heist? The answer, clearly, is no. In a world where thieves can hack your communication lines and siphon your nutrients from the dark, physical walls simply aren't enough. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this is what the thieves look like, just how dangerous are the chemical weapons that the defending plants have created to stop them? We'll be unlocking the doors to the world's most dangerous botanical chemical warfare lab next time, but for now, take a closer look at the plants around you. You never quite know who is trading and who is stealing.